Hi there, my name is Joshua Karam. So today we are going to be talking about the database lifecycle. So what is the database lifecycle? Well, it is an organized process of developing a database. However, to be more specific, it is actually six phases. Those phases are the initial study of the data being put into the process, the the design of the database, the implementation of the database, the testing process to see if the database works as intended, any remaining operations that are needed to ensure the database works properly, and the maintenance of the database throughout its entire existence. So, one of the concepts related to this database lifecycle is the concept of data warehouses. Now, what are those are structured collections of data from which information about the data can be analyzed. So, the reason this relates to the database lifecycle is because the lifecycle itself is also a structured collection of data with its own analytical phases, as discussed previously. As well as that, there is, within a data warehouse, operational information is gathered to maintain the requirements of a given organization of some kind. And that is exactly what the operation phase of the database lifecycle is for. And as well as that, database warehouses have something known as a time variant. And what that is it's a series of snapshots of changes made to the data over time. This is very similar to the way in which the data changes throughout the phases of the life cycle. Another concept related to the life cycle is data marts. Now these are databases which are similar to data warehouses, but the difference is that data marts have significant limitations on storage size and implementation time. So during the first phase of the database lifecycle, that is the initial study of the data, the scope of data that's planned to be implemented depends heavily on the storage size of the given device. And to be more specific, the scope of the data is the size constraints, which are based on the budget as well as the program that's being used. As well as that, we also have the amount of time the data is being processed during the implementation phase. So, this amount of time can vary quite greatly depending on how much data is allowed to be processed at a given time or how much data is allowed to be stored on a device. So, in the context of data marts, the implementation phase refers to the creation of a database within a storage group, and that storage group can vary depending on the device that's being used or the organization. So that's all there is to say about the database lifecycle and the concepts that relate to it.